guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with some standalone romances that I absolutely love. I know I read mostly series. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of books I pick up are part of series, whether they are continuation series, standalones in a series, and I don't often pick up just complete standalone books, no other books related to them, but I have a stack here of some of my favorites. Some overlap with my video I recently did of my 5-star reads this year, but I enjoy a book where I can just pick it up, read it, and that's it. I don't have to worry about remembering things and going to the next book, and I just really love these characters and their stories, and they've stuck with me, so I will recommend some standalone romances that I love. I've done this video before about a year ago. I can link that down below if you're interested in checking that out. There are some authors who primarily write standalone romances, and so one author I really love is Danielle Allen. She wrote Business Casual. I absolutely love this. Shout out to Samantha for getting me this from Fragrant Pages. She did send this to me from my wish list. I'm so happy that I have this in paperback. This was amazing, and I'm just obsessed with her makeup look. It's stunning. So in this one, the heroine needs to get a job, and she is a freelancer. She's interviewing at a bank, and she's in their lobby. This gorgeous man approaches her, starts flirting with her, and asks her out, and she says yes. Well, she goes up to her floor for her interview. That gorgeous man is one of the owners of the company, and so there are non-fraternization clauses in their contract because of bad history at the company with co-workers getting together. They can't get together. So they realize that, and they're like, well, we had such a good connection, like, this is gonna be hard. And he is like, you know, you're not officially an employee till tomorrow. So they have a one-night stand, and they're like, it's gonna be fine. No, it's not, because then they can't stop thinking about each other and want to be together and sneak around. So such good office romance. I really love this one. So good, and it's a standalone. Another favorite standalone from Danielle Allen that I haven't talked about in a while, this is a special edition from Hello Lovely, but that is Truth or Dare, and this one is a lot shorter, but this one is a vacation romance where it's a wedding romance. Our heroine has a group of friends, and they always say, like, no hookups unless it's serious. Like, if you want to actually date someone in the group, that's fine, but no casual hooking up. So two of their friends are getting married, and they always play Truth or Dare with each other. Well, Truth or Dare gets a little bit crazy on the night before the wedding, and she is dared to kiss one of the other guys, and she's never looked at him as more than a friend, but something was in that kiss, and then they had to start sneaking around because the heroine's sister just got out of an ugly divorce, and she is like, our friend is perfect for my sister. They're gonna have the perfect wedding hookup that turns into marriage, and they're gonna be happy. And so the heroine's like, well, shoot, I kind of like him though. So it's such a fun romance, a little bit forbidden, a little bit sneaking around, wedding, tropical destination. It's really fun. I love this one. Another favorite author who does write a lot of standalones is QB Tyler. I could not talk about standalones without talking about her. I'm going to start with the one I don't talk about as much, which is Love Unexpected. This is a stepdad romance. So he was her stepdad in elementary school. She's never seen him as a father though. She has a lot of animosity and fighting with him, and her mom had married him when she was like in 5th grade or something, and he was like the principal at her school or her teacher, and he's a principal now, and the mom ends up passing away, and they really grieve for her because they both truly really loved her, and that's his second wife that he's lost, and so he is just like completely lost in his grief, and they end up going away to this cabin together, or like this lake beach house. They go away to this house together. They've gone on vacation before, and bonding over their grief and falling in love with one another. So it's very taboo, very age gap, but I really enjoy this one. And then of course we have to have Forget Me Not, which I need to reread this year. This one I'm obsessed with. It's a marriage in trouble romance. He does cheat on her, so know that going in. It does deal with infertility, but he gets amnesia, and he does not remember the last 5 years of their marriage where they fell apart. He only remembers them being absolutely smitten and head over heels in love with each other, and so he's trying to win her back. And it's so good. It's very messy, which makes some people annoyed, but it is very good, and I love this one. Another one of my favorites that I have to recommend is Don't Kiss the Bride by Carrie Ann Cole. I do really need to get this in paperback, but this one is another age gap romance. Our heroine's home situation is not very good, and so she has a lot of issues with eating, and it's really affecting her health. The hero meets her because she is having car trouble, and he ends up helping her out, and they've struck up a friendship, and he realizes what's going on, and he's like, you need help, you don't have insurance, I will help you. And so he's like, why don't we get married, you can be on my insurance, and that'll be it. So it's definitely friends to lovers, and they slowly fall for each other, and I was obsessed with this book. Such a good slow burn, and definitely age gap, and I just can't say anything else more about it that I love because it's just amazing and you need to read it. Then I have Gothicana by Runix, which this book kind of reads like it needs a little bit more because there's a lot of questions left in it, but I'm pretty sure we do get a prequel at some point, but it's not out yet, so this is officially a standalone, and our heroine gets accepted into this mysterious college, and she has dealt with a mother who has a mental illness, and so that has greatly affected her growing up, and she is very intrigued by this mystery going on around the school of the girl I believe that she took the place of at the school had died by suicide, and so there's this mystery about why that happened, if it was one of the teachers' faults that worked there, who was very young, and he has connections there, and it's her romance with that teacher, that professor, and they're really close to the same age though. She is a little bit older because she started school late, and he is pretty young as a professor, but very, very spooky and very haunted. I don't know how else to describe like the vibes of this book, but perfect to read in like spooky season. That's when I read it and I really enjoyed it. Very unique romance with a lot of mystery that isn't all explained, but I still had a fun time reading this book. Then we have Reading the Signs by Kira Andrews. This one I thought was part of a series, but it is actually a standalone. It's MM and it's a baseball romance. So our one hero is a veteran catcher. He's a little bit older and he's kind of nearing the end of his career, and he was really good friends with the other hero's brother, and so the other hero is a pitcher and he is pretty young, and he ends up getting on the same team as the catcher, and so they work a lot together and they slowly fall for each other, and the pitcher's had a huge crush on him for a long time, especially when growing up because he was friends with his brother, and so I love a good sports romance, and this one was just really fun to read. So if you need a sports romance, that's a standalone. This one's definitely one. Then we have All Roads Lead here. Mariana Zapata writes great standalones. A lot of her books are in the same universe though, so some of them do connect. So like Wait For It, I believe is the one that she is cousins with Sal from Culty, but I have All Roads Lead here. This one's the one I most recently read. I give it 5 stars. Small town romance. Our heroine's just out of a like super long relationship, and she's going back to her hometown where her mother had disappeared on a hike in and presumed dead, and she rents out the garage of this guy and realizes the guy's son is the one who put it up to rent. So the guy's really mad, and he's a park ranger and he's very grumpy, and he lets her stay there though, and they slowly, very, very slowly spend more time together. There's like no interaction between those two until like halfway through the book, but the ending is worth it. Very slow burn, but such a good grumpy single dad romance. Small town. I just really love this one. Then we have Real by Kennedy Ryan. Kennedy Ryan does not write a lot of standalones, and I feel like the next book she's writing actually has to do with a side character in here, but for now this is also a standalone. It is a actor-director romance, kind of forbidden because the director has been burned in the past by dating actresses that work for him, and he is like, no more. But they obviously have a really strong connection, and he actually hires her because he sees her as an understudy on Broadway, and he is so, I think it was Broadway. She was acting on stage, and he is so entranced by her. He's like, she is it for me. I think it is Broadway because she sings in this movie, and she doesn't want to be sleeping with the director though because she wants to have earned that spot herself like she did. But if people realize she's with the director, they'll be like, oh, you're just sleeping your way to the top, you have no talent. But she worked hard for where she got. So she's also dealing with a chronic illness that is very prevalent in the story, so please know that before reading it. But I love this book so much. Kennedy Ryan is amazing, and I heard the audio is a great experience because it includes all the songs as well, so check Kennedy Ryan out if you haven't yet. I couldn't do this video without talking about Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, one of my favorites of all time. Very dark. Our hero and heroine get kidnapped in the beginning. They are people who hate each other. He is engaged to her sister. They've grown up for the past like 6, 7, I don't remember how many years, hating each other, pulling pranks on each other, and just being nasty to each other, and they get kidnapped together by this horrible serial killer and forced to do things together, watch things done, and then they escape together, and they have to try to integrate back into society again, but they're the only ones who really understand what they went through, so they do find comfort in each other, and they fall in love, and it's just so dark and hard to read, but so good. So good. If you haven't yet, please pick this up. Then I have The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams. In this one, our heroine is a journalist, and she is trying to keep her place, and she has to do a rival piece with this other journalist, and it is to try out these workout apps. And so the one journalist is doing one of the workout apps, she's doing another one, and she signs up for a coach. She's actually a curvy heroine and just wants to feel healthy. She doesn't want to lose weight. She just wants to feel good about herself and her body. So she wants to have like a very active and healthy lifestyle, and the hero's all for that. and they start talking on the app. He's actually one of the owners of the app, and he's trying to get down back to his roots and feel like excited about the app again, so he's taking a couple clients, and one of them is her, and they start chatting in the app and really fall for each other, and he is someone she can lean on and talk to, and she ends up in a situation she needs help. He's there for her, and that's when they first meet, and I had a lot of fun reading this book. She's also trying to keep readers entertained and like reading her pieces so that she is more popular than the other one, because she needs to outperform her in order to get, I think, a job or promotion that she wants, and so there's a lot of pressure in that aspect of being on this app, but I really enjoyed this one. I love Denise Williams. I love the previous book she wrote as well, and can't wait for more from her. And those are some of my favorite standalone romances. Let me know what your favorites are, if there are more I should check out. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.